Viper Auto Valet down at the detailing barn today. Right at the end of the day now, I had fitted it must be 3 weeks ago now, my BC Racing coilovers and my full suspension refresh and all the arms, coffin arms, so on and so forth. I didn't miss out any, I did every one. I also changed every nut and bolt, which I purchased through Porsche. I'm glad I did. I had to cut some of the bolts off, which was expected. I was expecting to do that. A lot of the arms, where they were stated as 996, I can only assume that they were the original arms, so dating back to 99. I mean, the suspension felt okay to me, but I had nothing to compare it against. But now I've done the suspension, I realise how much better it is now, which is really good. I've now played about with the suspension, not necessarily to try and gain track focused driving, but just a nice stance, which meant wheels on, wheels off, up in the air, down in the air, a lot of mucking around. It wasn't the end of the world because I'm fortunate enough to have a 2-post lift to do it on. But you do have to take the wheels off, adjust the coilovers, put the wheels back on, get it down on the floor, drive it, and then measured. And now what I've achieved is on the rears, floor to top of the inner wheel arch edge. On the rear, it's 65 centimetres, and the same on the front, 64 centimetres. And I know that sounds like, oh, well, that's not the same height. But then what I was trying to achieve was a consistent gap, front and rear, near side and offside, so that the vehicle looked like it was sitting the same all the way round, which is now what I've achieved. It was, well, it wasn't a huge amount of mucking around, but it was a fair bit of mucking around. But I'm pleased I've done it, because I now have 15mm gap between the top of the tyre and the arch. And the way I did that was I used a rule, and actually a shatterproof rule, didn't know you could still get them, a rule, and then I just measured from the rule up to the arch to achieve the 15mm, which is why it took me a little bit of time. As I said, it was getting it up on the air, or taking the wheels off, adjusting the suspension, taking measurements from the previous time I did it, and just kept working with it until I got it spot on. Because although it might say, or you might measure it and think, oh, I need to adjust it 10mm, one side it might work perfectly well at 10mm, and the other side you've adjusted 10mm, and it's not quite the same. So there was a little bit of variation, but it's now looking really good. I'm very pleased. Last time I had it in the air, which was one evening this week, can't remember now, one evening this week anyway, I came up here, I adjusted the suspension hardness on the coilovers. They were set at factory, I didn't bother changing them, but then I was curious as to how much you could adjust them and what sort of feeling that would give you. So I adjusted fronts and rears 5 clicks nearer harder. If that makes sense. There are 15 clicks hard and soft either side of that factory setting, and I went 5. I took it out on a little road test this evening, late this afternoon, this evening, and I was really quite surprised at what a difference even 5 clicks made, and there are 15 altogether. So I think that might be going back to where it was. It was very comfortable. It wasn't jarring in any way, and it felt stiff enough for a sports car, but I think I've just gone too far. But never mind, that's just part of the fun of ownership and experimentation. So there we go, my 996 now as I want it, other than the suspension a little bit too hard, but that's easily adjustable. I don't even need to put it in the air for that, so that's literally a 5-minute job, but I'm not doing now. I'll do that another day. More videos to come. Viper Auto Valet.